Hello, everybody. It is Friday, and everybody knows what Friday means. Finance Friday here on RCO Network. Rob Morales, RCO Network, coming at you live here on a Friday at the noon hour, talking about money, talking about finances, talking about your wealth and how everything comes around. I don't know. With me, my co-host today, and possibly longer, Miss Sonia herself, Red Sonia. Hello, Miss.
Hello. Hello.
Red Sonia, yes.
Sonia Ramirez with Opposites Attract Podcast here at your service.
What kind of service?
Wow.
Oh,
financial services.
Oh, is that it? All right, fine. Cut off the music. Cut the music off.
We're done. We're done.
Miss Sonia, how are you today?
I'm doing fabulous.
It's time to shake your moneymaker.
All right. Let's do it.
Well, that's really a metaphor for really learning how to create different forms of income. You know, as entrepreneurs, it's very difficult, I think, launching off into a business or anything you're interested in and finding a passion. I think a ton of people right now are caught up in job transition, career transition, trying to figure out who they are, right? Mm-hmm. I think the virus kind of set that off. And now as we're having gas prices, like, oh, shit, I need to figure out something else.
That's right. I think that people are waking up. That's what it is. And you're 100% right. I think COVID took the blinders. Yes, took the blinders off people and realized that their safety net is not their safety net, right? Their job is not their safety net. And they need to do something different.
Yeah, and I think it really connected us back to wanting something more out of our lives.
Yes.
You know, and a career that means something. And as I've explored with different people who starting entrepreneurship or at least starting a business, you know, one of the things they always liked about your job was the nuance, kind of the new part about that. But it came close to their passion, right? But it wasn't theirs. It wasn't created by them. I mean, there's so many things that people do that are exciting and new, and we connect with that, like nonprofit work. There's so many things that we connect with, but it's not ours.
Right.
So we're always kind of like there's a separation between somebody else's passion and our passion. And I think so much of us, especially these last couple of years, want to find our passion and make money off of it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
What is your passion, Miss?
My passion is to make a difference. Yeah. It has to be serving the people. And with my first business, it was a networking, multi-level marketing company. I was a paralegal for 8 years, and I was introduced to this company who provided legal services and identity theft services. Yeah. And I remember as a paralegal taking the calls of those people that really, really needed our help, but they couldn't afford my attorney, who was $350 an hour. And it broke me because there was nothing I could do for them. Well,
attorneys are damn near expensive.
Yes. And so when I was introduced to this business, my passion just flourished because I knew now that I had something where I can make a difference. Like I can help that average Joe get access to this broken justice system. And so that's when I realized, you know, that my focus in life, where my burning desire and my joy came from, was making a difference and helping people. And so even with, you know, with Trust Inc., it's knowing that I am a mobile notary, that not only just a mobile notary, but my notaries, like we have every notary that I work with, there is a course where there's, you know, that they take, you know, training where if you get one of my notaries in front of you, they know the documents probably just as good as that loan officer. And I think that just walking in,
I've seen some of that.
Gives, you know, the clients or the customers peace, knowing that the person in front of them is making them feel not only good, but is knowledgeable.
Well, I think the thing that you brought to, and I want to highlight a little bit more, is really the service of somebody else. You know, and in the thousands of interviews, in the interviews that I've done way before podcasting or anything like this, you know, it was always a sense of like people wanting to help somebody else. Mm-hmm. That was kind of the bottom line. I'm here to help somebody. Right. I'm here to help people. And that's basically everybody you talk to. I'm here to help people. It's really the turmoil and the questions really come in like, well, how do I do that? Right. The means to that. Is it mobile notary service? Is it real estate? Is it podcasting? Who knows? You know, and so it's whatever is your calling, whatever feels comfortable, whatever kind of drives you and causes some sort of neurosis in your brain to keep going and keep turning that wheel, you know, but it could be anything. It could be photography. Yes. But at the end of the day, the thing I want to highlight to you guys It's really about the service to somebody else.
Yes, that's true. And once you find that passion, right? Because I hear it over and over again with family and friends. It's like, how do you know? Like, I know, that this isn't what I'm here to do. I feel that there is a bigger purpose, but I don't know how to connect the dots. It's like, take some time to get to know yourself. What brings joy into your heart?
Yeah.
Is it painting? Is it drawing? Is it singing? Is it writing? Write a book, become an author. Like, there's so many things out there, and sky's the limit. So it's just really sitting with yourself and getting to know who you are to figure out what that passion is, because wherever that passion stems, that's where your success is.
Well, and see, it's that passion that translates over to more of the income.
Yes.
And I will tell you, with the CEO Network and some of the other things that I've done, it's been hard to preserve that sense of passion and solicit for money, to make those two connections. Because it's like, I'm here to serve you, but I kind of need some money too. I'm here to help you, but I need some, I need some green.
Right. You need some of this.
Yeah, I know. She's all hundreds. Look at that.
Woo!
She made that last night at the club.
Oh,
I won't tell you how.
Hey, no dollar bills. No dollar bills.
We don't like your singles around here. They have to be Benjis. No, but it's like it's really, I think the challenge for a lot of people is translating how they feel and what they want to do, how they want to serve, and still charge for it and still preserve that sense of service.
Yes.
Because I think money does kind of tarnish things, but that's kind of like that's been my internal struggle. It's like, I want to continue to serve. I want to continue to help people, help entrepreneurs, and I will a lot of times sacrifice my own time, even my own dollar, just because it feels like I feel like I'm serving somebody else.
Wow.
But I also know at the same time, I'm like, this shit don't pay for itself.
You got to eat, right? You got to eat.
Correct.
Yes. So that is something that I feel you, because that's exactly, how I feel like, with our podcast, we are setting up sponsorships, and it's like, well, how like, do you get yourself to feel comfortable, asking for your worth? And I think that's what it is, figuring out or knowing your self-worth, and maybe there is some trauma in the past. Like, I grew up broke. I grew up with a single mother, struggling. And I recognize that there's some healing that has to happen within myself when it comes to money. I'm feeling...
You don't feel comfortable around money, right?
Not that I don't. Well, I don't value it the way I should, I feel. Like, what I mean by that is I will do just like what you said. If I can do, say for instance, the coaching. If I could coach for free and not have to worry about the bills, I would do that. Yeah. Whatever I do, this is not my main focus. Well, that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, and I really think that there is some transition work there, and your therapy session will be starting now, by the way. That's something I've had to overcome too. You've been in business 4 years, I've been in business 8 years, and you really have to start looking and approaching the dollar, because there's a lot of value we place behind a piece of paper.
Yes,
and this is play money, by the way. And so I have it here just to kind of remind me that it's just play money. That's all it is.
It's a tool.
And it's a tool to be used in a different way. We just, our whole lives, if you grow up poor, especially, you put a sense of value behind this that's greater than anything else. There's fights that are caused for this. There are wars that are caused for this stuff, and if it wasn't for the value we placed on it, it would just be another thing in the room.
That's right. That's right. I mean, and when you think of it, it was just an idea that someone made up, right?
Richard Nixon, yeah. Yeah.
But we need it to survive.
Correct.
Right?
And not to deviate from today's show, but, I think that's one of the things you have to overcome, the emotional challenge it comes to being introduced and starting a business. But today's show is really more focusing on more the income. How do we establish that income? because of that emotional challenge that I've had regarding like trying to solicit for money, I have traded that off. Like with real estate, for instance, I'm kind of disconnected from the money. The only negotiating I have to do at this point is really the commission on the front end. But after that, after it's done, after the contract signed, I never talk about it again. And the nice part about that for me is that I can distance myself from that and make decisions as a fiduciary, make decisions for my client, make decisions for, you know, the people I'm working with. I call them friends. I mean, that takes a whole other connotation too, but it really distanced myself from the money, and I can actually focus in on the work itself and helping. So real estate for me has helped me disconnect from that. But it also serves, you know, like at the end of the day, I still get a paycheck, but it's not from the client, it's not from the customer, it's not from my friends, it's from the title company. Gotcha. And so there's that natural distance from it. And the same thing for CEO Network. It's all membership based. And so the memberships do pay for some of the facilities and some of the things that we do. And I feel free from that. You know, we're having paid memberships, but I have freedom to kind of do whatever I want to because there is a constant support there. So gotcha. I think the emotional challenge, I think even for yourself, is finding ways to distance yourself from the money piece of that and allow the money to come in and allow yourself to do those.
Oh, well, thank you for that. No, and it does make a lot of sense. So it's like, well, you know, being an entrepreneur and once the money starts coming in, then what do you do with it? Right? That's what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. So the income part. So developing that's going to be, we're getting there. We're about, a third of the way through. Oh, gosh. And so I think the immediate thing, once you to get established, the physical part that I think you need to do, the first thing is start your business entity.
Yes.
You know, and then that'll allow you to open your accounts. So you basically in Arizona, go to the Arizona Corporation Commission.
Yes.
Pick a name, whatever fun name you want to. Don't get caught up on the name. I got caught up in my name because you can always do a DBA.
Yes.
So start a business there, create an entity, go to IRS, get your TIN, and then you can open up a business account.
Yes. And you can actually, because I opened up my LLCs, and you can actually go to YouTube, you know, and learn from there. You can do it yourself. It's not that difficult. I know that it seems very scary. And, you know, I also had, you know, the legal services to back me up with that. But it's not that difficult because I know that they charge a pretty good fee to open up an LLC. So if you're short on funds and you're wanting to do it, there are ways around it to where you don't have to have an attorney open that LLC for you. Yeah,
and it is confusing, I think, at first. And when you're a member owner, and all this stuff comes into play, it's like, gets a little fuzzy there. But whatever you break, it always can be fixed. So my CPA corrected a lot of that. When I went to go file my taxes, he corrected my LLC into an S Corp. And so for the past, I'd say 5 years, I've been an S Corp.
So take note, a CPA is someone you want on your team.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
And they do cost money. So. Yes. He costs money, but it also saves me too. So the reason why we say start a business first, or at least an entity first, is that you can leverage off of that immediately. Like gas prices right now are going up like crazy.
Yes.
But because I have a business, I put those expenses towards the business, and everything I do related to my gas use is towards the business. So I'm concerned, and it comes out of the pocket. But at the end of the year, I can claim that off in taxes.
Right. And I think too, and I don't know if this is jumping ahead, but when it comes to claiming, you know, like for instance, like now there is before you can only write off so much in mills, and now because of where the restaurants are, they're actually allowing you to claim a lot more.
Really?
Yeah. So
not just 50%.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway,
hear it first.
But no, I think you mentioned this on the previous podcast that you have to be careful with all the write-offs. Right? Because if you're planning on purchasing a home or applying for a credit card, they're going to look at the final number. And I had to bite down on that one because thank God I have my husband who does have a W-2. But looking at my finances with all the write-offs I had, I'm like, dang. I thought I made that much, you know, last year. And if I tried to qualify or try to get a home, you know, another investment property, on my own, there's no way I would do it because of the amount I wrote off.
Yeah. And so starting a business is really key, you know, and then you'll kind of fumble and decide what your business is going to be about. You know, I think the most important part is the entity itself. And then figuring out what you do as far as a business, how you serve, that's probably secondary, because you need those expenses. You can claim 2 years of write-offs,
right,
and not have any revenue coming in. You can claim all those things, and that'll save you on your expenses. And you can utilize some of those expenses. And I wouldn't commingle, not that I would ever suggest commingling, but if you buy like toilet paper, if you buy water for your office, you can claim that as a write-off. And if you have a home office, it's ultimately something you can utilize there too.
Yeah.
But really focusing in, so that's the first thing. But the income stuff. So one thing we mentioned, as far as income bearing, the goal, I think the first goal for an entrepreneur or anybody wanting to get in this game is real estate. You have a rental property, right?
Yes, yes.
I have a rental property, you know, and it does take a tremendous amount of effort to get to there if you're a single person. I will say there's a lot of challenge into starting your business, making money, and then buying, you know, real estate on some level.
Oh, yes. Yes. That for me. Yeah. I had the house before all of that. It was actually my primary, you know, so it was easy to turn it into a rental, you know, because I had already qualified for it.
So like the rental I have now, you know, I purchased right after my divorce, and I will say my mom helped me out in that situation. During my middle of my divorce, I could not spend any money, you know, because everything I spent during a divorce could go back to the, you know, that.
Right.
But my mom ended up purchasing a condo in her name. And then I was essentially renting it from her until the divorce was over. And then I ended up purchasing it from her.
Got it.
But it did take a couple years in order for me to build the business, build the income, have a reportable income, because I think the first thing that a lot of entrepreneurs do is hide a lot of money.
Yes.
I'm not reporting this, which is very frustrating because you can't buy shit unless you report how much money you're making.
That's right.
You can't get a small business loan unless you report that you're making money off your business. So that's one of the big mistakes to do, is not report your income.
Right, right. Yep.
Have you ever hid money? Like
that's what I just shared. Like it's like there's no way, you know, if I would have, you know, tried to get us, you know, an investment property or even, you know, qualify for a business credit card, you know, so that did happen to me, and I learned, you know, the hard way. But hey, that's how we learn, right? They're all lessons. Wow, no failures, all lessons.
Some are bigger than others. You know, divorces are a big lesson to learn.
Oh yeah.
But that goes into and that's if you're a single person. You know, so it's going to take a while to build that. You may have to work intermittently, but the reason you want to get to real estate, not that this is financial advice, not that we're CPAs, not that we're financial planners, none of that stuff. We're just a couple people that have some experiences. But the reason you want to get to that is because as a small business, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have your highs and lows. You're going to have your months where you're like, holy shit, this is making a lot of money. Not too long ago, I made about $45,000 in 1 month.
Wow.
You know, and then
congratulations to that.
Oh, thank you. But the very next month, I didn't make anything.
You have to be ready.
So you have to absorb those pitfalls and embrace when you have money. A lot of it is saving. You know, I have about a year's worth of income where if I don't work for a year, I'm good. I'm solid. You know, so at some point you're going to get to that. But starting off, the goal, ultimately, the first goal is to get to that real estate part, to leverage off of that as an asset. You need real estate because that kind of, I guess, neutralizes those really high highs and those really low lows.
Yes.
It's not gonna be consistent every month.
And this is the thing. I mean, just sharing with you a phone call yesterday, you know, we have a great tenant, like absolutely amazing. She takes care of my house as if it was hers.
Yeah.
Well, we just got a call and she is moving in with her son. So
you charging too much? Is that
right? No, and that's the thing. Yeah. I wanted to keep her. So no, I was fair. But beside now, you know, now we got to go and, you know, replace the carpet probably. You know, we just put a new AC in there. So it's like you have to be prepared for those rainy days, like you were saying. You know, make sure, because, you know, with houses, you know, plumbing could go bad. You know, just there's so many things that might happen that you have to be prepared for. So it's like you have to be ready for those rainy days. And it's not the more money you make, the more you spend. And having that self-discipline to be able to put that money aside.
Yeah.
You know, and so self-discipline will save you so much heartache when it comes to being an entrepreneur. You know, be ready for those rainy days. Trust Inc., my notary business. Yeah. You know, when COVID happened, oh my gosh, I made my second year opening the business, I made $90,000 with no, experience. Just doing the thing, learning, getting my education, training, and tapping into my network. Well, guess what? This year, the doors are open. Title companies' doors are open, and I didn't make as much money. But I was prepared for that. And that's the thing. And I don't know if we're going to get into this later on, but taking that taking at least 20% and putting that aside, and having the self-discipline to do it consistently.
So what I normally do, so my breakdown for me is I set aside about 45% of my any income that I make. This is off gross sales, because at the end of the year, I file quarterly. I don't know if you file quarterly. So I file my taxes quarterly, and instead of having, $12,000, $15,000 in taxes at the end of the year, I'm only owing, like this year, I think I only owe like $700.
You already did your taxes? Look at you.
March 15th. Look, we're 4 days away. Business taxes are due March 15th, by the way. I made that first mistake first year round.
Are you sure?
Personal
April 15th?
Personal taxes are April 15th. Business taxes are March 15th. Uh-oh. Somebody's in trouble.
I'm like,
you don't pay a penalty by filing in April? So I don't know if that's a difference between S Corp and LLC. But,
okay. Are you an S Corp?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a difference. Why are you scaring me? Okay.
I don't know.
Focus.
I already filed. I just gotta make the payment. So my personal taxes are due the 15th of April, but I'm just gonna wait for that. But I already filed my taxes. And if you don't file by March 15th, you have to do an extension.
Which an S Corp?
As an S Corp.
Okay.
If you're a CPA out there, we need some help. Red Sonja needs some help. But no. So focusing on the income. So what real estate really does is it kind of, like I said, neutralizes that income stream where you can kind of continue to do what you need to. I would say being an entrepreneur isn't the easiest thing to start off with, but once it gets going, it gets going. I still stress, I still worry every quarter, every year, but it seems to always kind of manifest and work itself out. Then again, the neutralizer is the real estate part of that. So I think in that process, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, again, it's looking for those income streams. Mm-hmm. So real estate is one. Is there a different one, Miss?
Well, I could just share with you from experience, not everyone's going to be a podcaster, but, with that, we do Amazon merch, which brings in some income. We have pop sockets, all this other stuff. We also have sponsorships that comes within that. And, we also have this other thing that we did, or buy me a coffee, where you can, donate whatever you want, coffee, whiskey, whatever.
I like whiskey.
But investing, investments, I have a SEP IRA, as a self-employed individual, you can actually get a SEP IRA, and that's something that I just did. I think it was a year ago. It's for self-employed.
Oh, is it?
Individuals that are self-employed.
I just put mine in a Roth. I have 3 IRAs. I have a rollover from when I worked for the state. I have a traditional IRA and then a Roth IRA. So the difference between, so when you're saving money, always contribute to your IRA. Again, becomes deductible.
Yes.
And it's free money. It's untaxed money at the end of the year. So make sure you contribute to your IRA. So the difference between a Roth and a traditional Roth, you pay it up front. Traditional, you pay when you take it out, when you retire.
Right. Pre-tax, post-tax, all that. Yeah. Read a book. That's what I had to do.
Or read a book.
Right.
So you did mention equities. So, stock trading.
Yes.
Trading paper. So one of the things that I've been doing lately is I've been pulling out of equities, because if you haven't noticed, a lot of the stocks have been crashing. So the basics of making money, buy and sell. You can buy equities, buy stocks, and sell them. You buy them low and sell them high.
Yep. We bought the game Cash Flow, Robert Kiyosaki.
Uh-huh. That's a game?
We got to invite you over. Yes. We
got
to
play
this game.
I don't know.
What? It'll be so fun.
She gets a little crazy when she's drinking whiskey.
Right? But we'll add some whiskey. But no, that cash flow game is it is so great.
We're in red today.
And it's some real stuff. I mean, you go through a divorce, you lose more than half of your income. You roll on having a kid. I mean, it's a really great game.
Isn't that just life? Isn't that the life game? Or
it's life. But in order to get out of the rat race, you have to know exactly what to do.
No, what I mean, like the life game, life.
Oh, on steroids.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. Because you can buy, multi-unit properties. Like, it gets real. And you could tell how much you know.
I lost more than half
as an entrepreneur, like you just said, buy high or buy low. And in this game, it gives you that option. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you learn a lot from this game.
So trading equities is another one of those things. So starting a business at the end of the day and claiming your losses is going to be the most significant help that you do. Other forms of income, we did talk about when we're running out of time, which is what always happens. We did talk before the show about starting an MLM or being part of the MLM service. I don't like MLMs too much, but it does because it's not your business. One. I think they sell you on the whole concept of having your own business. But what I think the takeaways from those MLMs are those chances that you don't take, putting pressure on you to make a sale. And it gives you a little bit of structure, I think, that people are used to.
Yeah. I think that you have to find the right one for you. I was very lucky. Yeah. Again, I was introduced to one.
That was Legal Shield, right?
Yes, Legal Shield. And it changed my life forever. I mean, not only did I meet my husband in the business, but I learned about building assets. I learned about building rapport. I learned all the ups and downs, the struggles, the challenges. So it built me. It gave me that alligator skin, to go for the no, go for the no, go for the no. And
got rough skin.
And I loved it. I mean, I was able to fire my boss 2 months after because I matched my full-time income. So you just have to find the right one. But my kids or any young individual, now that things are changing, now you can go onto Amazon, you can go onto Etsy and sell mugs and make a lot of money. I mean, there's so many business concepts out there, but with the multi-level, I will tell a young one, find a multi-level that you can be passionate about and learn everything you can. Ask questions, make sure it's the right team that you're a part of, and learn everything you can. Because Legal Shield was like a personal development company with an amazing service attached to it. That's what it was.
Are you selling Legal Shield right now?
No, because I don't really market it now.
How passionate she is about selling.
But I do. I love it. The service helped me with my rental property. Yep. I mean, it's done so much. That
I don't even know where to go from there.
You just got to find the right one. Like if you are unsure what you want to do and someone approached you with one that you're interested in, take a look. Yeah. Do some research.
So MLMs are a good way. I don't believe in them because you tend to you have to follow their rules. And there's very few, like there's been so many times where I went to some sort of MLM party and I tried to take a picture with the toothpaste. And they're like, it was like, I don't even remember what, Ronan.
Melaleuca.
That's whatever it was. And they won't let you take a picture with a stupid tooth. Oh, you have to cover the label, because it's a proprietary thing. And it's like, well, that's just toothpaste.
Yeah.
I mean, my teeth aren't that white anyway, so it wasn't going to sell any toothpaste. But it's just so funny. Like there's so many rules to those MLMs, but it does put pressure and push you in a direction that I think is needed.
Oh yes, and
because it gives you a little bit more structure.
Yes.
Versus like just flat out going out there and trying to start a business.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's why, like my cousin tells me, everything you start touches, you turn into gold. I'm like, no, baby, you have no idea the late nights, the early mornings, all the sweat and tears, and everything that I had to do to get where I am. Because if you work it like a business, it will pay you like a business. I mean, I haven't worked it in I don't know how many years, but I still receive the residuals. And that's what they taught me is build your residuals. Doesn't matter how you do it. Build your assets, right?
So and that's really the goal. There's so many things to cover, and we may have to do this next week or take on another show. But there's just I think the basics of it are acquire assets and leverage off those assets.
Yes,
real estate is an asset, and you rent that out and leverage against that and make money.
Diversify.
That's right. She knows how it works. Do not buy a car unless you own a business, because then it becomes a liability if you buy it for yourself. It becomes an asset to the company if you own a business. So creating and finding more assets is really how you're going to do that. I bought a lot of video equipment, and that helps me. Not only do I get a depreciating asset for my business, but I also utilize those things to make more money. So like this last week, I think I made $200 just taking 3 photos.
Nice.
Or 3 sets of photos.
Yes, yes. Yep. You got to build your assets. No.
Yes. So those are so the basic fundamentals are start a business. You're gonna need to buy or sell something, and then or provide a service in exchange time for money or goods for money. It's very simple. It's just trying to figure out what you connect with, what service it is. It could be flipping houses. It could be flipping furniture, because people do that too.
Yes.
Whatever you're excited about, whatever kind of gets you up and going. I think I think at the bottom line is when it gets you up before your alarm clock goes off. And that's what happened to me today. I set my alarm for 6:30 today. I got up at 5:30 because I had too much in my mind regarding some of the other stuff we got going on with CO Network.
You're excited about this podcast.
I was excited about Red Sonja. I was like, what is she going to wear today? And she did not fail me there.
Gotta wear red.
Red Sonja. So is there anything we learned today, Miss?
Yes. Before I buy my 2-row vehicle, I need to get the LLC.
Oh yeah. You're getting into. She talked about doing Turo, so renting out her car. So using an asset, leveraging off that by renting it out.
See, that's why I surround myself with people that are smarter than me and that know more. And I think that's a big one too.
That's why she's hanging out with me.
That is a big one. I have always been the one to ask questions. Yep. I never been, that timid. It's like if I want something, I'm going to figure a way out how to get that. Whether, information, reading a book, surrounding yourself around individuals that have what you want, that are willing to pour into you.
And that's what I talk about, that neuroses. You really have to want it, and you really have to value whatever you're trying to do. But you can't force it down somebody's throat.
No.
So you have to figure out your own value first. And there's a long road to that. We launched our new website last month, and I'm still like, I should be satisfied, but I'm not, because I'm like, I need more value. I need to show these members, the people that are part of CO Network, they need to understand more. They need to feel more. They need to feel more value than what we're giving. So let's just continue that process on. So I should be celebrating, right? I should be drinking whiskey.
And you should, and we will.
But I'm still not satisfied. So that hunger is always there. It's always continuous. So and that road to finding value, your audience creates it, and you create your audience at the same time.
Yes. So true, so true.
So many things to talk about, but this is the end of Finance Friday, Miss. Look at that. It goes by quick.
Woo!
A little bit faster than you want it to be.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, yes. Hi. So we'll catch you guys next week. Rob Morales, RCO Network, with Red Sonja from
Opposites Attract Podcast.
And
Trust Inc.
Trust Inc. I don't know why I said thinking, but it's more fun. Anyway, see you guys next time.